This is the Saramonic Air SE. This is a wireless microphone system that a lot of people will be using with smartphones. And a lot of smartphones, especially flagship phones like the S26 Ultra, have really good internal microphones. They even have all kinds of options on there to get rid of, noise reduction, that sort of thing. So what if I compared using one of these with the internal microphones of the brand new S26 Ultra to see which is better? Is it still better to go with something like this, or maybe just use what comes with the phone? Well, I'm curious about that, and if you're curious about that too, well, keep watching because you're watching Blue Collar Guy. We're back. So today we're talking about the Saramonic Air SE, and I recently bought a Samsung S26 Ultra. Now, I did have other reasons for buying the phone, but I really did want to know if this was better than the internal microphones of that phone. It was one of the questions that I had when I was looking for a new smartphone. And I also purchased that one over the Pixel because the internal microphones of the Pixel 10 are not as good as the Samsung S26 Ultra. It is a flagship phone. Now, I'd also like to say that Saramonic did send me out this microphone for the purpose of testing and review. However, this video is not sponsored, and I also don't use paid affiliate links. So if you were to buy one of these, I don't get a commission, and I don't want a commission. If you're new to the channel, I don't ask for Patreon, I don't ask you to buy me a coffee, I don't ask for anything. Just watch the video to the end, enjoy the video, share it with your friends if you like it, and leave a comment if you have any questions on this, because I'd be more than happy to answer those questions for you. So what do you say we take this thing out of the box and see what you get in the box? Okay, so here we are. We got the Saramonic SE. This is an AI-powered microphone system. Everything is AI powered now. I'm guessing that has a lot to do with the noise cancellation. They have a 2-year warranty. Saramonic is really well known for making high quality wireless microphones. So if you wanted to know anything about this company, they even make a microphone system that has got some water resistance. So, they really are very innovative in their microphones. And I've always said that microphones are tools. You're not going to use any one particular microphone for any one particular task. You're going to pick whatever one works for whatever task the best. So if you want to know why I have like 20 different wireless microphones, well, that's why. So as you can see on the box, we have the 2-year warranty. There's a QR code up here, and I'm assuming there's an app that goes along with the phone. We're going to check that out. It has a 5G thumb size receivers. So instead of a 2.4 gigahertz receiver, this one's using 5G, which may give it a better frequency response, less hopping. I'm going to get my spectrum analyzer and we'll check that out, because if it's not running at 2.4G, I want to see if it is running on 5G. And we've also got some clips, and what else do we got here? It's also iPhone compatible, so that's going to appeal to a lot of people. However, we're going to be using it on the S26 Ultra, considered one of the best smartphones on the market today. Now let's just see what we get in the box. So we're going to take this out. And as you can see, I haven't had a chance to take this out yet and see. We're going to just destroy this box. And it is very well packaged. I see that we've got the USB receiver, which is actually quite small. And there's your pairing button by the looks of it over here. We've got some indicator lights. So I'm guessing you can hook up 2 microphones. And I'll just set that up there. Packaging is pretty good. It's just like a lot of other high-end microphones, the type of plastic that they use and things like that. And I'm just going to spin this around so we can read it. So Saramonic, yeah, very high quality stuff. Saramonic is known for that. They're known for making really nice stuff, and I really am curious on how this is going to work. So I've got one here. Oh, looks like, okay, all right. So that looks like a microphone. Okay, so the microphones are on the ends. I did not know that, but they are. Oh, and you see this stuff here? I'm just gonna, let me just zoom in a bit. I need to zoom in because I gotta show you this. So whenever you get these wireless microphones, I've probably been over this 1,000 times, you have to remove this little tiny plastic here. Let me just focus. There we go. And you got to remove this. It's because they're battery operated, and so theirs is a little trickier to get off. So remember to take those off, otherwise they're not going to charge. So hard to get off when you don't have fingernails, really, but I got it. All right. Okay, and then you got contacts. Do they go in the other way? I'm curious. No, they don't go in the other way. They go in one direction. So they're keyed. Now, on this side, what is this? Oh, that's for your iPhone. So it has two of these. So if you use an iPhone, you're going to have this one. If you use an Android phone, there you go. So I don't use iPhone. I use Android, so there we go. And there is the charging there. And I think we've got another QR code up here. Okay, so here's your status indicators. Unpaired, blinking blue. Paired successfully, solid blue. Strong noise cancellation. You've got blinks green quickly 3 times. Light noise cancellation blinks slowly 3 times. Noise cancellation enabled. You have a green light. Mute on, red. Okay. Pretty simple. And it comes with a nice little bag, which is good. You don't want things to get scratched up. Of course, we have their little muffs. I don't want to see how well those perform because a lot of times they're hard to get on and off some of these. And there's your clips. Okay. So let's take. So this part here is very sleek and portable. But is it going to be sleek and portable when you're trying to use the clips and everything else? So let me just go back to me. Okay, so small and portable, but now we got to figure out how do these go on. So that's your power button indicator right there for the microphones. I thought you had to push it to pull it out but you don't. You can just pull them out. They're very strong magnets, by the way. This goes in here. And how well does that work? Oh, not too bad. Goes on pretty good. So it just fits over there. So it looks like a little Tribble from Star Trek, if you're old enough to know what that reference means. And we've also got this clip, which is magnetic. And this, by the way, comes off. So that's a magnetic clip there. Okay, so that goes on too. So you can put it on like that too. So just go back to the other screen. So that's what it looks like with the muff on it. And then you can take off this part so it can attach. You can just clip this to yourself and then just slap that on there and away you go. Or you can use the little tiny Saramonic magnet, which is very small, but it fits on there. And that is stored inside the case. Now, can you store these with the muffs on and everything? So let's find out. Okay, you can. All right. So if you want to leave the muff on, they fit on there. They're not as strong when you, there we go. Kind of got to move the fur out of the way a little bit. Now it's on there a little better, but yeah, it'll go on. You can have a little furry microphone. So then you can put that one on there too if you want. So You can have fur on both sides. You want to do it that way. Here, let me just pull this one off. You can go like this. Pull this one here. Okay. So it doesn't hold as strong when you do it this way, but it still goes on, which is nice. So if you wanted just to toss it in the bag like that, let's see if it'll fit. Yep, it fits. So if you're feeling kind of lazy and you just want to leave these on, you can. You know, looks like you got a weird little barbell thing. Looks like a looks like a strange little barbell thing with the fur on each end there. But it's, you know, for someone that uses that, you know, that's how they're going to store it. Or realistically, you got to be realistic about that. It decreases the power of the magnets, though, just to let you know. Now, to pin it on, you can just take it off. Now, I'm wearing a wireless microphone right now, but let me just see how well it goes through the shirt. Oh, it's pretty good. Yeah, works good. Looks good. Okay. There's no wind in here, so I don't really need a wind muff. So, I think that'll be effective. And the wind muffs come on and off pretty good. You know, they don't clip on, which would be a little better, but they do go on and off pretty easily. So it's not going to be a fight or a struggle to get these on and off. Okay, and then you've got your USB-C cable to USB-A if you want to charge it. I'm not too sure if it's got fast charging or not. I'm going to find out information out for you. I'll put it in the corner. I don't think I'm going to use these clips because I think they're nice clips, but they're a little bit big for my taste. But some people might like those type of clips. I like a more low profile one, but I'll keep those in the box. And we're going to test this out with the phone and see how well it works. And as far as the plastic goes, plastic's pretty good. I do like the design. The design is nice and slick. You know, you just put this out. You could literally put this in your pocket, pull out a microphone, slap that on there. It's charging right now. I've got to charge this thing, so I'm going to make sure this thing is charged up, and we're going to test it out with my smartphone. I'm going to test it out without the wireless microphone and with the wireless microphone. We'll test out the different features because I got to download the app and I got to do some testing. But anyways, that's it for the unboxing part of this. And you know, it's packaged pretty good. I got nothing against that. It does come with both receivers, and that does have some value for some people, because some people have, like for instance, I have a friend with an iPhone and I have a Android phone, which means that we can use it with either phone. We don't have to purchase another receiver, and some companies will make you buy the separate receiver, which, you know, can cost extra money, which is, you know, it's a cost savings. We're going to test it out and see how well it performs, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this, because, you know, this isn't an overly complicated microphone system. It's not going to be a whole bunch of settings, but we're going to find out what it can and cannot do. Okay, we're back. So I've done some testing with this microphone because I wanted to know about all of its little features. And one of the cool features that I found was that you can also leave the microphone in here and turn it on and use it as a pass back and forth microphone, or if you wanted to use it as an interview style microphone, you can wear one yourself and then you can put the other one on somebody else. So this way you're not having to put microphones on other people. If you just wanted to do like a vlogging situation, let's say you're taking a survey and you're in the middle of the street. And it looks kind of silly when you're holding one of these and you're passing it back and forth like this, because I see people do that too on YouTube. That's probably not the most professional way to handle a microphone. So my recommendation would be to use one of these, especially if you're filming using a smartphone. And you can just talk either this way and back and forth, or you can wear this one and you can use this one for the other people. Now, Before we go any further, I want to just turn this microphone off, and all you really need to do is disconnect it and then put it back in, and it will automatically revert back to its original state. So if you didn't know how to shut that off afterwards, now you do. So let's go to the downward shot and see what this telephone app looks like, because they do have a phone app, and I'm going to try to position my phone here so I can show you what that looks like. The Saramonic SE, so I can hit that, and now I'm into the Saramonic SE app. Now if you don't have anything plugged into it, it still offers you the ability to record your phone. In other words, it'll let you see you know, your wave patterns and things like that. So they do have that also, even if this is not plugged in. So I just want to show you that this little guy right here, and this is your little button. I've got one microphone instead of two hooked up there. I got it tilted on an angle because of the lighting. I don't want the reflection to hit. So now we have the input gain. You can see my levels. We've got noise cancellation strong if I want to have it, and that's going to turn the transmitter to green. And I'm just going to take this one out to show you at the same time so that you can see that. And then if I hit this, it's going to go to weak. It still stays in the green. If I hit that, then it turns to blue. And then we're back with noise cancellation off. I've got channel mono stereo, so I can have one person on one channel and one person on the other channel. And I've even got a safety track. So if I want to have a safety track, which will be 10 or 15 dBs lower, so if you're worried about clipping, you've got that option as well. But better, but my firmware is up to date. And there's the levels. Okay. And I'm going to turn the TX light back on so I can see it. If you got this muff on there, you're not going to see the light. So that's one thing I'd like to let you know. Okay, so back to me. So now I'm going to record using my smartphone. So we're going to that video, and I'm going to show you the EQ settings. Okay, so right now you're listening to the S26 Ultra with its own internal microphones, and this is what that sounds like. So if you didn't own the Saramonic system, this is what you would get. I've put it on the stand. I've got it in the most stable position. This is what it is. I've got my face on this. I'm using the selfie cam, the cheap camera, if you will. I'm not using the you know, the professional camera on the back because I wanted to frame my shot. And of course, you know, you still have issues with that when you want to use this. But you can do split screen and other cool things in this phone. However, if you're going to be filming and you're going to be using this in a YouTube setup, you're going to want to be able to see what you're getting on the other side of the camera. So I'm just doing this because this is a microphone test. So this is what the internal microphones sound like on the S26 Ultra. Okay, so right now I am using the Saramonic microphone system. I've got it on normal EQ, and I've also got the noise cancellation off. So you will hear noise in the background if there is any. Now I'm also using the frontward facing camera, in other words the selfie camera, because this is how a lot of people are going to use this phone. They're not going to necessarily use the good cameras on the back. And also, this is a microphone test, not a video test. So this is why I wanted to do that. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to start switching my settings. So this is under the original settings, and we haven't done anything other than just activate the microphone. Okay, so now I've got it in high boost on the EQ, and this is what that sounds like. Again, I am hand holding the phone. I'm just giving you real world scenarios of what that would look like. This is the frontward facing camera, the notorious selfie camera on the S26 Ultra. So this is what that looks like. And this is what it sounds like using the Saramonic SE. So this is what it sounds like in bass boost mode. This is my voice under bass boost. So this might sound more like a big microphone, like a large dynamic capsule microphone system. Again, these first tests are with noise cancellation off. I will turn them on, but I'm just going to turn it on for vocal enhancement, and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is vocal enhancement now. So this is noise cancellation off, and we have vocal enhancement turned on. So Everything so far is with noise cancellation off. So, because that can affect your audio sometimes. It can make things sound a little flangy at times, but we are going to hear background noise in this, and I do believe there's some happening right now. And here we have the 150 hertz low cut filter, and this is what it sounds like when you've activated that. And you know, a lot of people use this so that they can get rid of, you know, excessive rumbling, that sort of thing. So it's quite often used in place of noise cancellation for certain things. If you have a lot of low frequencies that are creeping in your microphone and you don't want them. So this would be 150 hertz. And they also have a 75 hertz for people that want to let in, you know, the upper range in, but they want to get rid of the really low frequencies. Okay, so this is a 75 hertz low cut filter. So we're cutting things off at 75 and down. And this is what it sounds like. So people would normally use this if they're trying to eliminate those frequencies and they don't want them into their audio. So, you know, a lot of people like to use that as well. You'll often see 150 and 75 in professional microphones. So if you're wondering about that, that's one of the things that you would see. These are very common settings in a lot of high-end microphones. And this is what that sounds like. So now we're going to demonstrate the noise cancellation. I'm just going to put it in vocal enhancement because I think a lot of people probably use that. And then we're going to test out the noise cancellation. Okay, so this is vocal enhancement with noise cancellation on strong. How does my voice sound? Does it sound flangy? Does it sound distorted? You know, there is some background hums. I got some fans going in here. So there is a fan near one of my lights, and you probably heard that in some of the audio. So does it eliminate that fan noise? I'm just going to be quiet for a second to see if you can still hear the fan. There's also car noises outside. And this is how that noise cancellation works. This is with vocal enhancement on and noise cancellation on strong. Okay, so this is vocal enhancement on, noise cancellation on weak. Now, a lot of people use this if there's just small fan noises or, you know, HV systems or HVAC systems, that sort of thing. Not a lot of background noise, so they'll put it on there, and then that way it kind of takes away some of the, you know, the processing on the voice, the flanginess, if you will. But how does this sound? Was noise cancellation on strong good enough? Did it do a good job? Because it is AI noise cancellation, and I just wanted to let you know the difference. AI noise cancellation and regular noise cancellation are a lot different. So AI noise cancellation will sample environments, they'll have pre-samples, they will compare things, and then they will remove those samples. So they will have car noises and things like that. So AI will recognize those as car noises and they will remove them as such. Normal noise cancellation uses what they refer to as a notch filter. And what that does is it just takes away certain frequencies and it tends to sound a lot worse. So back in the day, all we had was regular noise cancellation. AI noise cancellation is a lot better. So tell me how this sounds and tell me what you think. Right now, I'm using the S26 Ultra. I'm not using my studio cameras. I'm using the Saramonic system, the DJI system. You know, we'll just set it over here just so that you know that I'm not using the DJI microphone. I'm using the Saramonic, and you're probably hearing the tapping right now. So I just wanted to finish the video using this because for me, this is a pretty good backup system if I needed to use a system. Now, I have lots of cameras, and I also have a lot of action cameras. And by the way, this will work with DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and it will also work with their action cameras as well. So if you didn't want to use the DJI system and you wanted to use the Saramonic system instead because maybe you like the different EQs, or maybe you just like the personality of the microphone. So I need to explain that a little bit. As an audio engineer, microphones have a personality. And this is why singers and, rock stars and people like that, they will have a microphone that they really prefer to use. They will not just use anything. Like Phil Collins had microphones that he preferred to use. Also, I want to let you know, back in the day, there wasn't a lot of options. So the Shure SM57 and the Shure SM58 were often widely used for live concerts. Bands, but a lot of singers swear by those microphones because they like the personality in which it gives them. So the same is true when it comes to wireless microphones and other types of microphone systems that we would use as YouTubers. You're going to find some that are going to work better for you. They're going to sound a certain way. They're going to offer you that personality. Maybe they make your voice sound a lot better. They bring out the best in your voice. So these are the kind of things that you need to try and this is one of the reasons why I also have a big selection of microphones, because I'm going to pick different microphones for different tasks. Some of them are better, outside environment. Some of them are better for studio environment. Some of them are better for certain types of videos where maybe you're moving around. Some of them have longer range, like this particular microphone system has really long range. So if I had to get far away from my camera, I might want to gravitate towards this one because it has really good range to that receiver. Now, keep in mind it is line of sight. You need to have this microphone see that receiver, but I have seen other tests with this microphone and they went, I guess, past 300 feet with this thing and it did really good. And that's incredible. Now, okay, so I want to show you something really quick because I get kind of technical with my stuff. This is and this particular microphone uses 5G instead of 2.5G. So 2.5G is what a lot of these microphones use. And the reason why they probably picked 5G is for two reasons. One would be range, and the other one would be for less frequency hopping, and also because it is a very crowded frequency. A lot of devices use that 2.4G frequency. So having it on the 5G is going to give it a little bit of an advantage. There's going to be less cases of interference, less cases of dropout, and things of that nature. Now, because this microphone system doesn't have internal recording, having that solid connection is very important when you're hooking it up to your phone. So that is one big advantage of this microphone system, in my opinion, is that 5G connection, because that is where I would probably use it. So if I have other microphone systems that I could connect to my phone, but if I'm in an area a lot of potential interference from Wi-Fi routers or people using wireless devices like headphones and that sort of thing, I'm probably going to keep this one in my bag as a good tool to fight all of those problems. And that is a very professional quality. They've seen that the 2.4G system is a very crowded system, so they've gone to 5G, and I think that was a very, very ingenious move on Saramonic's part. So I've pretty much covered everything I need to say. I know that there was a lot of details, there was unboxing. I go into a lot more than you'll see in other YouTube videos. They usually do a quick audio test, and that's usually about it. So that's it for this video. I'd really like to thank Saramonic for sending out the SE. At first I thought it was just maybe another type of microphone system similar to other ones that I've tested, but it has some unique features that I personally will be using. So take care, be safe at work, and I will see you at the next video. Bye.